Today's video is brought to you by the good people over at patriotpost.us. They are an excellent source of news, information, op-eds, and all that good stuff. And the link for them will be in the description box. So when you head over there and subscribe, tell them that ABL sent you. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Super Tuesday results and all the shenanigans and protests and whatnot that happened. Now, I'm not really sure where to begin. I guess I'll start from the very beginning. Most of the polls had the results being what they were, outside of a couple that were kind of surprising. I think the polls may have had Joe Biden win in Minnesota, but I thought maybe Bernie would take that. You know, you got Ilhan Omar up there supporting them. I thought he might take that, but no. Joe Biden won Minnesota. He also won Texas, which was polled to go for Bernie. Matter of fact, I think the voting was pretty close, but not that close. It's like a 4-point win. I thought it would be the other way around, according to what the polls were saying. If you look at Texas on a map, county by county, you'll see like the border areas all went for Bernie Sanders. Also, San Antonio and Austin, but Houston went for Biden, and I think Dallas, Fort Worth went for Biden. Very interesting. One thing to note is that in an area where you have a high black population, you're going to have a success for Joe Biden in a Democratic primary. That's what I've seen. Like in every state, you can go through it and you can see the results by race. And in every place where Joe Biden won, where there's a black population, which is pretty much every state, you'll see the black vote is like 70%, 80% for Joe Biden. A little bit for Bernie Sanders. I think the only place where the black and white vote were the equivalent was Massachusetts, where whites are 80% of the population, blacks are about 7% of the population. So you don't have a very high black population, but you go down to Alabama, where else? Tennessee, Arkansas, places like that. The black vote was very much in favor of Joe Biden. You're going to see that same thing all throughout the race. And the reason for that is very simple. It's because he was Barack Obama's vice president and people know him from that particular point in time. Bernie Sanders, they don't really know too much. And they see some of the crazy things he's talking about. They're not really into that. And anybody else, Bloomberg, they pretty much have no chance. Nobody knows who they are. Speaking about Bloomberg, he has dropped out. That happened this morning after Super Tuesday, which is Wednesday, March 4th, 2020. And that was pretty much expected. He does not have a path forward. I mean, he could spend $700 million, which is what he spent. It didn't make a difference, okay? He won American Samoa, and that's it. And that's crazy because Tulsi Gabbard is actually Samoan. Well, part Samoan. Her father is like half Samoan. And she was born in American Samoa. She got one delegate from her home place, but Bloomberg got 5 delegates from that place. She's not dropped out yet, but after this performance and the previous performances, she should go ahead and drop out. I'm not really sure why she's here, but that's a different story, and I digress. The whole point is that Bloomberg did not do well despite spending $700 million on his campaign. I think the main thing he was able to accomplish was putting out anti-Trump ads, but does it even really matter since the anti-Trump ads were attached to Mike Bloomberg and Bloomberg has dropped out and his expenditures didn't really amount to anything? I don't really know, but we'll move on. The race right now is between Bernie and Joe. And I think that it might be Joe. Like I just said, Bloomberg dropped out and he immediately supported Biden, even after he said in December that Biden wouldn't be a guy that could actually succeed come November. But we'll move on again. Pocahontas is still here, but I presume she'll drop out soon. I saw an article on the internet just now that said something along the lines of, oh, I'm evaluating my way forward. I'm seeing if this makes, once you hear stuff like that, that means they're going to drop out pretty soon. I'm not dropping out right now, but I might drop out in the next 24 to 48. Matter of fact, by the time I get done with this video today, she may drop out. And I don't think she'll support Bernie Sanders. It'll be most likely Joe Biden. Like I said from the beginning, Super Tuesday was crazy. It had plenty of protests. Joe Biden, good grief, sir. I need you to have some security because your wife or your sister or whoever that was beside you, I don't think you know, so I don't know either, but I'll move on. They can't be, fighting off these people from the anti-dairy group. Okay, they can't be out here trying to throw elbows and stiff arms. Speaking of elbows, stiff arms, swim moves, beautifully formed tackles, full wraparound tackles. Shout out to Simone Sanders, who works for Joe Biden's campaign. One of these anti-dairy people came on stage, like bum rushed the stage with a sign, acting crazy, screeching, and she leaped off the line like Ndamukong Suh, Michael Strahan, Reggie White, RIP, Ray Lewis, Vontaze Burfict. She pounced off the line and full form tackled the young lady and got her off the stage. And it was funny because she put someone on Twitter talking about I broke a nail. Well, I'm surprised that you didn't break more than that, considering how beautiful that tackle was, but that's a different story, and I'll move on. My whole point is that Joe Biden, you need some more security because what you got right now, it ain't really cutting the mustard. What's up with these Democrats rushing the stage or these leftists rushing the stage? I think they also rushed the stage at Bernie Sanders' event. It's like, what are we really doing? I was like, okay, we can see you. You're on camera. We know you are. Your face is not covered. Like, what are you doing? Oh, because you don't want to... I don't really understand what the whole purpose of protesting is. But then again, I'm not thinking here. I'm not using my brain. The reason why they're protesting is because the liberal left, they have enabled these kind of people to be out here doing whatever they do. Okay. When you go to Trump events and rallies, the protesting is not tolerated. We're not into that kind of stuff. If you protesting, you got to get out. We're not going to encourage the protesting. When we see the protesting over on the left, we're like, this is ridiculous. Get them out of here. Get some more security. But when the left see any protesting against us, they encourage it. It's like the lady that said, you should go to a Trump rally if you have the coronavirus. We don't endorse things like that. We want to have everybody be safe. I don't care if you're on the left, right, center, whatever. We want people to be safe. We protect individuals like Joe Biden's wife or sister or whatever she was to him did, and like his staffer Simone Sanders is able to do. We do that regardless of who it is. If you're an innocent person, you ain't doing nothing wrong, we're going to protect you. But the left, they don't do that. They encourage violence, which is why you have these crazy protests at Democrat events, which is why they've shown up at Democrats' houses talking about come out, flashing flashlights in the windows and whatnot. Okay. Speaking of crazy things that happened on the campaign trail, your man Joe Biden is at it again. We've said to anyone that'll listen that Joe Biden is a creep. He's a hair sniffer. I will not allow him around children. And he even came out and said something like, okay, I'm going to, respect people's spaces. I won't get too much into their personal space. And here we are again with him sniffing the hair of a baby. It's like, sir, what are we doing? Talking about, so I gotta tell you a secret. That's an excuse for him to get close and to sniff. Because when he got close, he didn't say a word. He just sniffed and then that was it. This guy is a creep and he is a presumptive front runner. Right now, it's pretty much neck and neck between Bernie and Joe. Joe did very well on Super Tuesday. Like I said, the black vote had a lot to do with it. Bernie took California, which is a big take. So he did fairly well, but Joe Biden did much better. And he's ahead in the delegate count. So when it's all said and done, I think that Joe Biden might take home the prize, although it'll be very close. As long as there's nobody else in the race, there may be no need for a contested convention, but it could happen. It very well could happen because this is going to be kind of neck and neck until the very end. Once you get to a contested convention, all bets are off. Like I've said before, if you don't reach the 1991, not the year, the number of delegates required to secure the nomination from the Democratic Party, what happens is you go to a contested convention, and at that point, the delegates who were pledged to vote for one particular person are no longer pledged to that particular person. They can vote for whoever they want to vote for. There have already been interviews on TV with people talking about if it goes to a convention, I'm not going to vote for Bernie Sanders. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden. I think like 93 super delegates have said that already. So we're already setting that whole thing up to have the nomination taken from Bernie and given to Joe Biden if required. Now, people say that Trump doesn't want Joe Biden, it'd be more difficult. Well, really, the truth is, either one of those people would be pretty much a tomato can. It'd be a punching bag and ring with Mike Tyson in 1987. So it doesn't really matter. It'll be easier to beat a Bernie Sanders because his ideas are so niche and not mainstream that he cannot win a general election. He would not get the black vote. He would not get much of the South at all, regardless of what the race is. He'd get California and some other little liberal pockets around the country. He would not get nowhere near enough votes to even be able to contend with Donald Trump. Now, Biden, on the other hand, would do very well with the black vote, with the South. He would be a contender, but he would still get shellacked, okay? He would still get shellacked because the funny part is Joe Biden is winning some of the same areas that'll probably go for Trump in the general. As I close, I'm going to say this. Super Tuesday has been crazy. It's been a mess, a couple of surprises and prizes here and there. But as we get closer to the end of this cycle, you're going to see the screeching intensify. It's going to get worse. And I, for one, can't really wait, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Joe Biden will get the nomination when it's all said and done? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. Or will it be Bernie? If that's your viewpoint, let me know why in the comments below. How do you think the Democratic Party are going to handle the whole situation? Are they going to try to get everybody against Bernie to support Joe Biden, or is it just going to be a natural thing? People that are running don't really like Bernie. I think Pocahontas may have said that nobody likes him, he can't get anything done, but they may like Joe Biden, although he's pretty much looking like Weekend at Bernie's, ironically, halfway dead. He still may be the most viable candidate that they have, which is really sad. I mean, look at how Joe Biden is doing right now on the campaign trail. Halfway out of his mind, decrepit, old, ridiculous, don't know who his wife is, who his sister is. He's a mess. And in 2016, Hillary Clinton looked better than Joe Biden, and she was a mess. And she lost against the first time guy in office, Donald Trump. Now you have the incumbent, you have a great economy, you have great support from the Republicans. A lot of Democrats have walked away. How are you going to overcome that come general election time? I don't really know, but whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.